Hmm. Ladies and gentlemen, what is this news in regards to Reece James? Reece James is said to have a scan on his knee, and we will determine whether he goes to the USA tour or not. We haven't even started the season yet.
All right. Here we go, back again on the other side of the coin.
All right, welcome back to the other side of the coin, ladies and gentlemen. Before we get going, I would love for you guys to smash that like button immediately. Let's try and get 700 likes, ladies and gentlemen. I've seen that when I let you guys know about this earlier on, you guys do respond very, very positively and strongly as well. So let's achieve 700 likes immediately. Check the like area, how much likes we have right now, and smash the like button and see if we can reach to 700 likes. And if you're here for the first time, make sure you subscribe. So now that I got that out of the way nice and early, because I know you guys respond good in the early stages, let's talk about some Chelsea news. Let's talk about some Chelsea transfers. This is the one that is sticking out to me the most. Before we can even talk about any transfers, we have to delve deep into this conversation. Now, nothing is confirmed as yet. I'm not here to say that this is 100% confirmed news, this, that, the other. But the fact that this is a news in itself gives me some level of pessimistic view about Reece James's health moving forward in the next season. Let's have a look at the news and then we'll make some comments about it. Medical sources inside Cobham said that Reece James is set to have a scan on his knee following training today to determine whether or not he will travel to the USA. Medical sources remain optimistic. So that's good. We remain optimistic. Medical sources remain optimistic. And this is coming from, as you guys remember, the guy who leaks all the starting lineups at C345 Sam. He seems to have some sort of inside knowledge about Chelsea, especially when it comes to, leaking lineups. But he probably has some information about players training and injury reports and whatnot. He definitely has someone internally to give him all that information. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we know Reece James has a medical history. We know that. It's quite evident. It's out there. And it's an issue every single season since Reece James has been introduced to Chelsea Football Club under Frank Lampard. There hasn't been a single season where he hasn't been injured, and he hasn't been injured for a long time. Every season, he's missed a hell of a lot of matches, to the point where last season, as I said in my previous video, there's a podcast that's gone around of Reece James's father, I think with the Beautiful Game podcast, where Reece James's father said that last season was very difficult for Reece James. The fact that the injury kept him away from World Cup, and then obviously, double whammy with Chelsea's situation, he found it very difficult. And at the end of the season, there was a whole heap of conversation that Reece James was going to have a surgery on his knee. There seems to be some distinct issues with his knee. I can't remember whether it's right knee or left knee, but one of the knees. And the bottom line for that was that there wasn't going to be any surgery taken, but he took a lot of time off at the end of the season. If you guys remember Frank Lampard telling us that Rhys won't feature anymore, and I think 3 or 4 matches to go, he stopped playing, something like that, on top of all the matches that he missed last season anyway. And now the season hasn't even started, ladies and gentlemen, and we're talking about this. Look, I like the fact that medical sources remain optimistic, but the fact that this is a conversation already, that's what scares me. We haven't even started competitive matches yet. We haven't even gone into, the Premier League season yet. We haven't even started preseason matches yet. It's just training at the moment. And we already have doubts. Medical sources inside Cobham said that Reece James is said to have a scan on his knee following training today to determine whether he will travel to USA or not. Look, we need to find... This guy is so damn good, ladies and gentlemen. Reece James is world class for me. He really is. One of the very few Cobham graduates that has come out and, shown unbelievable quality, and Reece James is that. But Reece James is no good if he's not available. Like, he's eating up a lot of wages as well. He's got a long-term contract. But when he's fit, he is undoubtedly fire, absolute fire for us. So look, from the point of a backup for Reece James, I'm not worried. We've got Malo Gusto in regards to that. But I'm concerned about this brother's future. I'm concerned about his well-being. Because if this regular, scare about his injuries keep coming forward, then, what does it mean for his future? What does it mean for his career? So, look, I hope this isn't serious. I honestly hope that he makes it to the USA Tour. But we have to find a solution as to how can we strengthen that knee, whichever knee it is, right knee, left knee. How can we strengthen that knee? Because we saw, what problems he had. I think it might have been against AC Milan as well last season, where I think it might have been AC Milan, or was it a different match where he clashed with a particular player? I remember with his knee, and that's when it all sort of culminated. This whole knee stuff. He's had hamstring injuries previously, and he's had a whole heap of other stuff as well, niggling muscle stuff. So look, ladies and gentlemen, let me know your thoughts in regards to Reece James. Are you concerned? Not specifically just on this news, but look at it from an overall broad perspective. Like, this guy needs to sort his health out to the T, and it's somewhat worrisome that the season hasn't even started, and we're already talking about potential injury issue for Reece James. So let me know in the comment section. Reece James on Instagram, ladies and gentlemen, the best of me is yet to come. Look, he's positive, and I'm glad he's like that. I truly need him to be at the USA Tour big time. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, some transfer news. First up, Caicedo. Chelsea and Brighton conversations on Caicedo are positive. They are trying to work out the fixed fee and then the structure for the add-ons. Then Caicedo will become the new Chelsea player. This is from Fabrizio Romano. Look, there is no other suitors out there that are going for Caicedo at the moment. It's just us. So from that perspective, I'm not worried. I'm not worried that someone's going to come in and swoop in and take Caicedo from our grasp. That's not what I'm worried about. I just wanted Caicedo to be part of the USA Tour immediately. So look, I think the players are going to be heading out in the next couple of days to the United States for the tour. Can we get a solution within the next 48 hours for this particular matter? Looks like we're getting closer and closer. It's just a matter of trying to work out the fixed fee and then the structure of the add-ons. I just hope that this doesn't take too much longer and Caicedo becomes a Chelsea player ASAP and can join the Chelsea squad as opposed to going with Brighton squad to the United States. Good thing they're both going to the United States, I suppose. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, some Ryan Cherky news. Laurent Blanc, Lyon manager. Olympique Lyon must say, okay, if these are impressive figures, but on the other hand, at this price, 26 million from Leipzig for Lukeba, I tell him to stay one more year in Lyon. That would really annoy me if he left. It's the same for Cherky. Look, now that all this interest for Ryan Cherky has come to the surface, of course, everyone will try their level best from Lyon's point of view to raise the price as much as possible. The more they keep saying that he's not for sale, the more what they're trying to do is, get us to bid something ridiculous, I suppose. Ridiculous in the sense that I think it's been quoted to be around 40 million euros. I think they probably would like something around 50 million pounds now that the interest is building. So let's see what happens. For the time being, Caicedo is the biggest interest. He's the full focus. After that, we'll see. Look, I'm not someone who wants Cherky immediately right now and has to be part of. I can wait for Ryan Cherky. For me, it's more important to get the Caicedo deal done, and then we'll see how the preseason kind of pans out. And if we can add someone like Ryan Cherky, that will be fantastic. He's somewhat necessity in the team. That creativity factor. Obviously, we've got Nkunku, but we do need to have someone as a backup, and at times maybe both can play. Cherky is being courted by Chelsea and Newcastle, so that's another one to look out for. How much is Newcastle involved in this situation? Next up, Chelsea have 3 serious bidders for Romelu Lukaku and a continuing conversations with all of them. Inter Milan are the lowest. This is from Ben Jacobs. The other two are Juventus and Al Hilal. So these brothers, Inter Milan, you know why they're playing like this? Because they know that Lukaku, the player, wants Inter Milan only. And this is why they're coming up with penny changes, you know what I mean? Like short changes. Because they know the player don't want Juventus, the player don't want Al Hilal, the player wants us, and they want to use that as leverage to shortchange us on this particular matter. The scam continues, the scummy attitude from both the player and Inter Milan continues, but we need to stand firm. We need to let the player know and Inter Milan know that we've actually got an offer from Al Hilal for 40 million, and if you can't match that, well, see you later, ta-ta. The player either chooses Al Hilal or you better match up. Because do you know what? I kid you not. As soon as Inter Milan have Lukaku in their ranks, at the end of next season, they're potentially going to sell Lukaku to Saudi Arabia and make a hell of a lot of money. Inter Milan has sold Brozovic to Saudi Arabia. What's it to say that they won't push Lukaku to Saudi next up, at the end of next season? Potentially make a lot of money. So why should they be, cashing on this particular player? They know they look. Inter got no love for Lukaku. Lukaku's just stupid that he loves Inter Milan. Inter Milan will dispatch Lukaku like that, snap of a finger. Inter has clocked on that Lukaku is a very good commodity to have to move money around. He's a money laundering machine, and there seems to be quite a lot of interest for him here and there from certain clubs, and they know they can make the most out of that, especially now Saudi Arabia floating around. So look, we need to hold firm, and we need to make sure that Chelsea remain unhappy with Inter Milan's latest offer. The latest offer, I think, was 30 million euros. So no, that ain't a deal, as their approach still falls short. Now, we need to hold firm, and we need to say that give us the money that is required. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, Callum Hudson-Odoi is up for sale and is currently training with the under-21s. He has Premier League interest, while Ethan Ampadu can leave but is with the first team squad and is now likely to travel on the tour. Inter Milan are locked in talks to sign Romelu Lukaku, and Chelsea hopes Saudi Arabian buyers emerge to secure both Ziyech and Aubameyang. Look, we still need a bit of clearance, man. Ziyech needs to go. Aubameyang needs to go. I think the word is by 17th of July, all of these players have to go, or else, obviously, Ziyech is already in pre-season training and whatnot, but he don't want to be at Chelsea Football Club. Aubameyang has got till the 17th to sort it all out, or else he'll have to report back to Chelsea Football Club. Same goes with Romelu Lukaku, but Romelu Lukaku categorically saying he is not coming back. Ethan Ampadu is participating with the first team. Look, this is what I'm going to say about Ethan Ampadu. I rate him and I like him, but for some reason he never cuts it. So to all the fans who are going to say, oh, no, let's give him an opportunity. We've been trying to give this brother an opportunity and he never cuts it for some reason. I don't know why. I wish he got an opportunity, but he never seems to get an opportunity. And then on top of that, every time he goes to past couple of seasons, he's been going to Italy for loans. None of these Italian teams come back and want to buy him on a permanent basis. So what is going on? What is going on? I'm not going to sit here with a false hope thinking, oh, Ampadu all of a sudden is going to work for Chelsea Football Club. Look, I'll see what Poch does, but history suggests, the precedence is, Ethan Ampadu doesn't make it. Every time he comes back in preseason and every time he gets loaned out. So if that is the case for Ethan Ampadu again, let's sell him. Let's look to sell him. And with Callum Hudson-Odoi, same thing. I think 17th of July. He's part of the team, but he's training with the under-21s. He needs to find a home. There is no future for Callum Hudson-Odoi at Chelsea Football Club, bottom line. Ethan Ampadu, potentially could be used as a utility player, but we've got other players to look forward to in the future. Andre Santos, we've got Cesare Caicedo, so Chukwuemeka. Those are the players that we need to focus on. Those are the young players we need to focus on. Chukwuemeka specifically is a talented player. So someone like Ethan Ampadu, I'm sorry, I think your time's up. Next up, Mauricio Pochettino is keen to have a homegrown core to his team with Reece James, Colwill, Armando Broja, and Conor Gallagher. So look, obviously there needs to be some homegrown quota, but let's not just pencil down anyone and everyone. Like, let's look at quality. Reece James, quality. Obviously, injury is an issue. Levi Colwill, quality. His intentions are an issue. We'll see what happens with Levi Colwill down the track after he has a conversation with Pochettino. Armando Broja, I rate him. How's he going to come back from the injury that he suffered last season? Let's have a look. Conor Gallagher, I think we've all made a general consensus on him that he's just not Chelsea quality. So, look, as much as Poch maybe want to keep him, Ange Postecoglou as well seems to want him at Spurs. Managers tend to want this guy. Do you know what I mean? Frank Lampard used him a lot as well. Graham Potter used him a lot. I think they just like the work rate that comes from Conor Gallagher. But overall, the skill set is just not there. And if Conor Gallagher wants to be an English player for the Euros that's coming up, if he wants to make it to that squad, he needs to make sure that he plays week in, week out, or else he won't be named. So for his own sake, he needs to move on. Now, some Levi Colwill conversation, ladies and gentlemen. When will the Brighton admin players and fans understand Levi is not for sale? This is coming from Chelsea Dodgers. Check this out. There was a post that Levi Colwill put, and then Adam Lallana, we are waiting for you, bro. And a kiss, and I like, what's going on? Look, I'm not bashing Levi Colwill. All throughout this whole sequence of events that's been happening in regards to Levi Colwill, I've never once bashed Levi Colwill for it, because at the end of the day, you do what's best for your career. I've maintained throughout saying that he's 100% immense quality. There are certain people who don't believe in the hype. I do believe in the hype for Levi Colwill, but for me, it's more the fact that forget about the hype. I can see that there's a quality player in there, and someone of his skill set would be sensational for us. My only concern with the whole Levi Colwill situation is that I'm just a bit worried whether he's got his mind scrambled elsewhere. Has he got his eyes in other clubs that he's looking out for? And does he have this mentality that he's just going to, without any competition, without anything, he's just going to be given that green light that, yep, you're 100% guaranteed X amount of time, this, that, the other, and you're going to be the most important player at Chelsea Football Club. Like, I just hope that he realizes that that's never going to be the case at Chelsea Football Club. There's always going to be competition. There's Buddy Shield, there's Wesley Fofana. You're always going to have to compete, and hopefully the best man wins. So it's never going to be that. Don't worry about Buddy Shield. Don't worry about Wesley Fofana. You're secured. Obviously, you're going to get your chances, but you're going to have to show, your character, your effort in training, and then immense quality in matches. Yeah, every now and then you could have that odd game, but you got to be consistent on a predominant basis. You have to be consistent. So I do understand Levi Colwill's doubts in regards to how Chelsea moves with academy players or young players. If I'm Levi Colwill, I would have seen a whole heap of all these youngsters that have been bought since he's been sent out on loan. All the defenders that we ended up buying, and then we were even linked with Vardiol at one stage. He would be somewhat concerned that what's going on, where's my position? I get that. I absolutely understand that. But once all of that is done and dusted, and it seems like it has been, Koulibaly has moved on. Chalobah potentially will probably move on. So it looks like Chelsea's doing their level best to open up a gate for him. So now it's up to him to take that with both hands. And as I said, having said that, that doesn't mean that that gate is only just open for him. There are other defenders that are always going to be in for a look at, as I said, in the likes of Badishil, who's injured at the moment, sure, but he will come back into the frame, and Wesley Fofana as well. All right, this is a bit of news in regards to Levi Colwill again. Brighton have seen a club record 40 million bid rejected for Colwill and have now begun sounding out cheaper alternatives. So I don't know if Brighton are moving away from it. Potentially they are. Initially they might have caused a bit of havoc in regards to the Caicedo deal by throwing Colwell's name in it, but maybe now they're moving on with it. Obviously, Adam Lallana doesn't look like he's got the memo. But check this out. Manchester City could target Colwill if talks over Josko Vardiol collapse. So, look, coming from Nizar Kinsella and some of the stuff that comes from Nizar Kinsella is sometimes probably not to be taken too seriously, but I won't be surprised if it happens. Like, Liverpool are keen on Levi Colwill. They are so keen. That's their number one target. I had no idea this was the case. That was brewing in the background. Liverpool, Jurgen Klopp, they want Levi Colwill. Levi Colwill's stocks are quite high. And I won't be surprised if someone like Manchester City actually knocks on our door if the Josko Vardiol deal falls over. So I don't think it will. I think they've got Josko Vardiol wrapped up. And we'll hear soon, here we go for Josko Vardiol to Manchester City. But that's the quality of Levi Colwill. And I hope Pochettino, after having the conversation with Levi Colwill very soon, can give him a bit of a blueprint that this is the plan that we have for you. This is the new contract. Now it's up to you. So let's see what happens, ladies and gentlemen. Next up, Chelsea have poached the FA's head of performance, Reece James, in a major blow to England's preparations for next summer's European Championship. The Australian sports scientist has worked closely with Gareth Southgate's players since 2016. And it further goes on to say he developed good relationship with Premier League clubs as he was involved in planning bespoke fitness regimes for individual players. This is going to be hopefully good for Reece James. At first, when I looked at this news, I was like, surely like Pochettino would have his people that are going to look after all of this stuff, right? He'll have his backroom stuff. Are we adding another individual that, too many cooks? You know what happened last season? Too many people. Like, remember that mentality monster guy? Yeah, I don't know what happened to him. He's bounced quickly out of Chelsea Football Club. At first, when I saw this news, I was like, man, like surely Poch would have his people in his backroom staff to cover for all of this stuff. And I think his son as well, Sebastian, who is a sports scientist too. But I think this particular brother, Bryce Cavagna, Australian brother, by the way, so my countryman, he's more inclined to individually looking at each player's health and making sure that they stay fit. So, yeah, the key to Cavagna's success at Chelsea is likely to be his ability to work with assistant coach Jesus Perez, who is Pochettino's closest aide and will take overall charge of the player's fitness. So hopefully this man can find a solution for every player, because we get too many injuries. Last season, it was just mad. And the season before, and for the past probably 4 or 5 seasons, too many players, man, just getting injured left, right, and center. So hopefully we find a solution for Reece James. And then on top of that, we find a solution to reduce injuries as much as possible. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, Chelsea have emerged as the second highest paid Premier League club by FIFA as part of the benefits of releasing players for the World Cup in Qatar last year. Chelsea took home 2.51 million. Chelsea had 14 players and could have had at least 2 more, but for the injuries, Ben Chilwell and Reece James. So, look, happy to get all of these money, man. I know it's paltry, 2.51, but nonetheless, bring it in. Like, if we can collect some money because players are going to participate in the World Cup, no problem. So it's important to have a very highly successful team, which have a number of international footballers, and then potentially they'll participate in the World Cup in the future, and then you get some bonuses from FIFA. So that's good to see. Next up, all preseason tour matches will be available to watch live and free of charge on the official Chelsea app and the official Chelsea website. Broadcasting for each game starts 30 minutes before kickoff. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. If you're wondering where you're going to watch the Chelsea preseason matches, all of it will be in the website and on the app. So do make sure you're there. I'm definitely going to be there, by God willing, on all of these matches and doing the watch along. So make sure you guys are always tuning in. Last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, had to talk about this. So many players are, getting tapped up from Liverpool. Roberto Firmino, Henderson has now agreed with Al Ittefaq, and now Fabinho is on the move as well to Saudi Pro League, and Jamie Carragher all of a sudden seems to be, pro Saudi Pro League now. So what happened, Jamie Carragher? You had so much, your mouth was running non-stop when Chelsea were connected, along with your partner, Gary Neville, partner in crime. And all of a sudden, now that the Liverpool players are moving to Saudi, now your mouths are shut. Now you got nothing to say. Now you think this is a good venture to go to. Someone, obviously, a lot of people have been tagging Jamie Carragher, and this is what he had to say in one of the responses. The money is difficult to turn down. Oh, really? Now you understand that it's difficult to turn down. Hence why virtually no one has a great servant of the player for Liverpool. He will get criticism because he got a lot of praise. Again, he has to find something negative to say. Praise for his stance on LGBTQ plus in the past. Not a player in his prime, but again, big statement to get Liverpool captain. And then obviously Chelsea Dodger, this is quite apt. What Jamie Carragher said before when Liverpool had no Saudi business. This is what he said when no Liverpool players were going to Saudi. Saudis have taken over golf, the big boxing fights, and now they want to take over football. This sports washing needs to be stopped. Like this guy, if there is contradiction at the highest order, this has to be it. And this is what I mean. Some of these pundits, ladies and gentlemen, sometimes I know they know what the game is about. They know that it is all about clicks, it is all about the headlines, and they'll say whatever it takes to get all of those traction. And now they're contradicting themselves. So let me know in the comment section, ladies and gentlemen, how you felt about everything we talked about, especially Reece James and the transfer news. In the comment section below, let me know, and smash the like button. Let's try and get 700 likes minimum. If you're here for the first time, subscribe. Let's race towards 25,000 subscribers, and I shall see you guys for a live tomorrow. Till then, take care. See ya.